Hey there guys, what is happening? My name is Sumed Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I'm going to speak about injustice and revenge. Now the first thing that I want to note about injustice and revenge are they're part of different poles of the same equation. One is a masculine essence and one is a feminine essence. The masculine essence is much more of this injustice, law, structure. It's not fitting into the laws. The feminine essence is the overreactionary behavior, the manipulation, the revenge, the backstabbing, the going behind the back. So understand that they're part of the same paradigm. Now if you split up the word revenge, what do you get? Rev-enge. Right? Rev the engine. Think of it like revving the engine, meaning you're revving the engine, you're trying to get somewhere, but you're going to get nowhere. It's moving your vehicle nowhere. You're revving the engine, but the car won't start. That's what revenge is. You think that by having revenge, you will be shifting the cosmos in some way to work in your favor. I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. Okay? One of the best mindsets to adopt when it comes down to revenge and injustice is karma. Karmic debt. Okay? So understand, if you are ultimately being a good person and somebody's doing bad to you, the universe is going to do bad to them as well. Okay? It's going to come back to them in some way. You can't see it right now, but it will come back to them. So you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to worry about that revenge. Have you ever watched Harold and Kumar, by the way? Like the first one, the one they go to White Castle. And Kumar, he steals the truck, the Jeep from those kind of racist, extreme guys, right? And he says something which is very beautiful, and I still won't forget that movie because it's so inspiring to me. I know it's a stoner comedy, but it's such a funny and poignant movie, okay? So what he says is, never get riled up when a bunch of guys are giving you a hard time. And I'm paraphrasing here. Never get riled up when a bunch of guys are giving you a hard time. The universe will unfold as it should. That's a beautiful karmic mindset to adopt here, okay? Your truth of what you know to be true, if you know at the heart of your hearts you're a good person, your truth will keep you safe. Your truth will keep you sane, okay? Now there's a difference between thinking about vengeful activities and injustice that you want to do harm to somebody and actually doing it. Of course, if you think about it so much, it will become a thought form and you'll end up doing it anyway. However, just thinking about it is very different from actually taking action on it. Okay? We can have sexual fantasies all we want. Doesn't mean we're going to actually have those sexual fantasies in reality unless we act upon it. Right? So the thing is, you want to understand that one is a fictitious scenario and one is an active experience. So once you can differentiate from those two, it gives you your power back. It gives you your core back. If you're thinking still from that mentality, an eye for an eye, or tit for tat, or that revenge mentality, some people might call that childish. But I would argue with you and say, no, it's not childish. It's just a primal drive. It's an evolutionary behavior for self-preservation, for protection of the ego. So, there's a growing body of research that suggests that actually acting out on revenge has an opposite effect than we think it does. It actually harms us more than the vengeance and the revenge that we're trying to do to the person. So if you feel vengeful, if you feel vindictive, you got to understand where the word revenge comes from, okay? Revenge comes from the Latin word revindicare, or revindicare, okay? Now, what does that mean? It means to avenge with extensive force. To avenge something or claim something with extensive force. I'm sure you understand the power of this channel to flow and not to force, correct? So you want to flow and not force it. Which means the revenge that you feel is not legitimate unless you're threatened, you're in excessive danger. There's no need for this revenge thing. And understand that justice will be served. It might be your responsibility, it might not be your responsibility. I'm not saying that. But what you gotta notice is It's this sense of, if you want to have revenge on somebody, it's this sense of closure. It's this sense of closing the negative feedback loop. It's this sense of catharsis or release or letting go of something. It's like, I want to have it that way, my way. I want to do back and hurt somebody as they've hurt me. Now understand, it might make you feel good for a second. As they say, revenge is a dish best served cold, all right? I don't want to eat a cold dish, to be honest with you. I don't want to eat a dish called revenge anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not in my mindset, because we all have vengeful thoughts. The key here is to not dwell on them. So actually the best revenge is no revenge. The best revenge is success. The best revenge is to smile at the hatred. Because once you're going down to that lower vibration, because revenge, jealousy, envy, guilt, shame, humiliation, all of this is coming from a lower vibration paradigm. And I don't want to say that to shame you either, right? Some people are like, hey, it's a lower paradigm, don't go there. No, I'm not saying that either. I'm saying understand that it's a lower vibration and work actively towards raising your vibration. Put more focus, less on the revenge and the activities that will better yourself and your own life. And let that revenge be a catalyst, that feeling of vindictiveness or vengefulness be a catalyst where you can actually act upon it in a different way than actually seeking revenge. Because again, like I said, the universe will unfold as it should. People have noticed that, the more vengeful you are, that means you're more motivated by power, you're more motivated by authority, and probably you're more motivated by status. So if you're chasing these status symbols, and you keep chasing these fictitious scenarios, you're going to be much more vengeful. Notice that the people at the top of the top, or the elite, feel like they need to have revenge on somebody, okay? Because their reputation means so much to them. Their status means so much to them. Their ego is very glorified in their own minds. Their standard is perfection. I'm not saying this is you, and I'm not saying this is your friends or whoever's trying to get revenge on you either. But I'm just saying it's more common that is the case. So, when somebody feels like they've been attacked or they're unjust, and as a result you feel all this anger, jealousy, rage, right? All these feelings, humiliation, you feel powerless, you feel foolish, you feel ridiculous, you feel ashamed. All these feelings come up, right? You want to seek help from somebody who's level-headed, who's mature and understanding. Someone who's an expert at handling this, as well as seeking advice from elders who've been through that stuff. I've noticed that when I've gone to people who are very, very wise and experienced, I've gotten the answer that I've been looking for. Understand that another option to revenge is forgiveness. But actually what you're doing is you're forgiving yourself. Forgiveness is a gift to yourself. It's not to them. You're not forgiving them for them. You are forgiving them for you, if that makes sense, okay? So once you understand that, anger causes all these migraines and revenge causes all these negative thoughts in the mind, right? And you get into a fear-based mentality. You get into a protective mentality. Now, let's say you do go towards the revenge route, okay? Never let the revenge that you're doing come back to you, okay? Don't break the laws of the land. Don't do stupid things like, keying someone's car and all this kind of trash that they show in movies, okay? Because the thing is, that is going to come back and bite you. That karma is going to come back and bite you as well. You think you need to take karma into your own hands, that's where you're wrong. You think that you need to, be the bigger man or be the bigger woman, whatever that means, okay? But listen, the bigger you, revenge doesn't even cross the mind, okay? You in the future, the elevated version of you, they're not even thinking about revenge. They're thinking about how to actively improve themselves in their life. So if you are scared, I understand completely, okay? I understand if, your life is in danger, or you feel like, there's injustice in the world that nobody's dealing with, and I want to be the one to actually activate that and make the change happen. That's kudos to you, okay? I understand that inclination towards bettering something and bettering yourself and bettering the world at large. However, don't let this kind of panicky behavior of revenge activate some kind of insecurity within yourself that you need to lash out. Give yourself this space and really ask yourself, what is this vengeance really telling me? It's telling me I need to close the gap somewhere. There's some miscommunication happening. There's something that needs to be released and let go of. There's some identity within me that is recognizing that I am vindictive in my own nature, right? So anything that triggers us, we have to reflect it back towards ourselves. One finger pointing that, 3 fingers, 4 fingers pointing back, right? When we're pointing. So it's about you. When you're vengeful about someone, okay, understand it's about you. So you can throw all the insults at them and say they were worthless, they were this, they were that, I'm gonna get back at them, I can't believe they betrayed me, I can't do this anymore. Okay, let it out, let it go. Allow yourself to process that pain, because the pain body can create revenge and a mentality that I want justice to be served. I want it this very particular, precise way. But when the universe doesn't want to play ball with us, and these guys are becoming scapegoats and they're becoming free, why does the universe allow certain people to get away with some things? I've wondered that myself, right? However, I think it's in the superglue of the thoughts and the mentality. I think that the universe decides to teach us certain lessons at certain points of our life. And revenge is just one of those things that you've got to process within yourself. If you recognize the word injustice as well, you are actually in justice. You are in justice, however, you are so deluded and you're seeing the illusion of the moment that you feel like it's an injustice. Okay? Now let's say somebody is doing a crime against humanity somewhere, but you're taking that personally and you're taking a stand for your values in that moment. That's a great thing to do, right? It's like, why are you doing that? That's not a great thing that you're doing right now. Let's say that one of your values is environmentalism, right? You protect the planet, and somebody keeps littering. Some jerkwad keeps, littering everywhere. So what do you do with that? You can tell them once, like, look, I don't think you should be doing this. We've got to really look after the planet. They're like not taking it seriously. They're like, yeah, whatever, man. Whatever, throwing like candy wrappers on the floor or whatever. They might not even know it, but that little candy wrapper that they threw on the floor in that one moment, may come back to haunt them one day where it gets flung into his eye somewhere, right? But we're not seeing the future timeline yet. But like that, a similar candy wrapper will come and like poke him in his eye and he'll get injured by that. And he'll wonder, like, he won't think back to that one moment where he put that candy bar down on the floor, right? So this is the way I think about it. You see what I'm saying? It's like you are not being a passive person if you're avoiding that. You get what I'm saying? It's like you can actually hold yourself and hold your own ground when things are happening that are out of your control. You cannot control somebody else and their reactions. All you can do is persuade them, influence them, and help them to make a decision that they've got to make themselves. You've got to let them see your authorized, awesome, nouveau perspective. You get what I'm saying? And again, if you're feeling vengeful ideas and like, I want to get back at someone, you want to avoid watching a lot of those shows that show revenge happening. Because the more you consume that, that's going to keep going off in your head, okay? Maybe you're watching lots of shows like crime shows or like shows where the criminal is like going behind the back and trying to backstab and do all these things. And maybe you find a dopamine surge from doing that. I would stop that. I would actually cut that down to a minimum, to a bare minimum. It's like, it's like eating really bad food, right? Like revenge is just like, you're eating it. It's like eating you up from the inside. Don't carry the burden of hate and revenge in your heart, right? It's just kind of glitching and adding bugs to your system anyway. Yeah, that would be my advice, guys. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever it is you're tuning in from. May the flow be with you and stay legend.